Hey guys, my name is Bando, this is Brexit Bando. We have the 2025 winners of Golden Demon held in Spiel Essen, and as always I'm going to start by complaining about the fact that why is Golden Demon not held in the UK, the place where Games Workshop is from? Do we not have enough game shows? Could this not be held at something like, Salute, the largest wargaming event in the UK, which fills the Excel Centre in London? No? Could we not possibly have Games Day up in Birmingham anymore? It seems really, really weird to me that we have to go to either America or Germany to do this. You know? If have it in the UK, and then all those European and American painters can fly to the UK and boost our economy with all the expensive beer and sweets and burgers they'll buy at the show. So anyway, let's go through these entries. This has been a fantastic year. The bar has been raised so unbelievably high now that it's wild to think what next year is going to be like. So first up we have the gold for the Warhammer 40,000 single miniatures by Matthew Siddy, and it is this Kroot. And I love this piece because it really kind of gives me that feeling of older Golden Demon entries, with a lot of them where you'd see these kind of industrial bases. They all kind of had this green, olive drab kind of pipes and panels, and this just really feels like that, and the blending on this is just top notch. I'm going to repeat myself so much, so I will try to be a bit quicker on this one. I won't try to go about what I really like about everything as much as I do when we do this normally, because I do end up just saying the same things, but the blending on these models is becoming unreal. Johan Ledek, and again if I mispronounce names I apologise, I don't know how to pronounce some of these names. So Silver Johan Ledek with a Dark Eldar Archon, and I believe that is the Dark Eldar, the old Dark Eldar Archon used as a base. Absolutely impeccable non-metallic metal on that armour, just really nice contrast, so much micro detail even on the base, and such a cocky pose. I really like it. I'm not a big fan of the blonde hair. I don't think it fits the Dark Eldar look, and I think the skin tone's a little bit too warm. Talking of warmth, Andy Wardle with the Eldar Fire Dragon Phoenix Lord? Is it the Phoenix? I can't remember if that's the Phoenix Lord or if that's the Exarch. Either or, it's a Craft World Eldar, and I love it. The orange on that, the way that is done is just brilliant, and this is the kind of level of quality that draws people into this hobby, and this is the sort of thing you should be seeing in the back of your codex. This should be the kind of quality that you're seeing on marketing material for a model. This is the thing that you show that kid and go, look how cool these guys are. Not a couple of coats of flat contrast paint, and nothing else. No, you really want to spark the creative juices. These are the sorts of models, quality, and just talent you want to show off. 40,000 units or kill team, Martin Peterson with a really nice Space Wolf squad. While I could comment on all of it, the only one I want to talk about is the Terminator. It's really aping the Imperial armour artwork. I love it. I think it's great. The colours are fantastic. The posing is great on everything. Really well deserving of its gold for the unit. Onto silver with Hendarian. I didn't realise we were having single names now for Warhammer, for Golden Demon, with a Swooping Hawks squad with Baharoth. So I remember the name of that one. With just, again, really high contrast, really nice poppy non-metallic metal, and a nice base as well. Maybe it's taken to a little far to the extreme, but this is the competition to take things to extreme, so I really like it. The Kill Team, the Deathwatch Kill Team by Eric Swinson. I'm not a big fan of. I can respect it on a technical level in every way, shape or form. I feel that the bases are a little plain, and I just think the squad itself is a little bit plain, but also there's just a little bit too much going on. Like I'm struggling to kind of lock in and see one part at a time, or like see the whole unit as a squad. It's just it's a bit all over the place. But things like the non-metallic chrome is really, really good. The object source lighting on the fire and the plasma glow is really, really good. Not so much on the captain or the sergeant, but definitely on the salamander. And the Black Temper always looks good. 40k large miniatures or vehicles. This orc war boss on bike, trike, buggy, whatever you want to call it, is always present. Ever since it was released, it's been present in thingy, and has always been a really good kit. I like the basing on that one. I like the colouring. The Dreadnought is a Renaissance piece. I like it. I really do. Is that the easy to build Dreadnought? I think it might be. It's really nice. It reminds me of some older pieces. The amount of freehand, I'm very surprised I didn't get first. I think that I'd obviously have to see it in real life. But yeah, I really think that's impressive. Fulgrim, yeah, I think the photo's not particularly great for Fulgrim. I don't think it shows off the work particularly well. I think that's a big problem with a lot of these models, is they have a single photo and that's it. That's all you get. And it's a little difficult to kind of see what's what, because a lot of it is tilting your head around, looking at it from different depictions or different directions, and seeing like the wonderful blends and the colours and the transitions and stuff. And I think this is one of those ones where I'm sure it's absolutely fantastic, but the photo doesn't really show it particularly well. Single miniature for Age of Sigmar, Albert Moreto font, which also happened to win the Slayer Sword. I can see why it won. I don't like it. I think the colours are all over the place, and I think that the composition isn't great, but the technical skill is flawless. I've seen the more up close pictures. The amount of micro detail that is painted into this model and the sheer smoothness of the blends, there is nothing you could improve on this model paint wise, and absolutely deserving of his third Slayer sword. I just personally don't particularly like the model. Eric or Urca Martino, silver with what looks like the Raven Knight but on horseback, is a very brilliant classic fantasy model. Really looks nice, really looks impressive. Yeah, I really like the base. I think the base maybe does take away from it. I think it draws the eye away from the model a bit too much and overshadows it quite literally in places. I like how there's like a face in the rocks under here. That's kind of cool. And then, yeah, it's great. It is really great. I'd like to see some more close-up shots of these. Richard Gray. I can appreciate all of the technical skill here. I can't actually tell if that is traditional metallic silver or non-metallic silver. The gold's a little easier to see, so I'm going to assume it's non-metallic silver. It's amazing. Non-metallic gold always looks a bit too yellow to me, but gold is surprisingly yellow when you actually do see it. And I love the base. I really like the very dusty kind of Duratar style base. Age of Sigmar unit, Warcry warband or Underworld's warband. Yeah. I do find it a bit weird with these unit rules now, where it doesn't have to be like a legal unit, and it always throws me off a little bit. This Vampire Lord, I've painted it, absolutely love it. It's a beautiful model to work on. Fleshy Decourts are a lot more like popular than I thought they'd be, and I do like the kind of, you know, Khazad-dûm style basing. Nurgle is very comic book. It's almost like cell shaded. Simon Sakura, I'm not a big fan of that one. I think that it looks a bit comic booky. I can appreciate the talent that's gone into it. Like, it looks good if that's what you're going for, but some of it I just don't. I don't know. I just. It's hard to sort of enunciate and kind of put into words what I'm trying to get across here, but when everything else has been kind of a certain style, seeing something in a different style just kind of makes me back away a bit. Jonathan DeVos with bronze. I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't deserve it. Absolutely does deserve it. The technical skill here, the blending is really nice. Jonathan DeVos, I love this base. I think this is fantastic. And Goblins on Wolves is always cool. But this is another one where the photo, simply to encapsulate all of it, doesn't let me get enough view of the models themselves to comment. I somehow managed to merge both Sigmar and large miniature into Warhammer Age of Ligmar. So yeah, Warhammer Age of Ligmar. Large miniature, a war machine. Angelo Di Cello, very nice blending on everything. Colour choices are really good. I just am not a big fan of that model, to be fair, so I wouldn't have probably put it as high. This Nurgle one, I think, is what I would have given gold to. I love it. I think it's great. I think it's really unique and interesting. But kit bashed models generally don't get as high. Not always, you know. But yeah, I like that. I think that looks great. I like how all the tones kind of are very earthy and blend in together. This is great. I'd love to know. I'd like to see this unpainted to see what's what. Yeah, it's an interesting model. Very nice shading on the wings. Yeah. Horus Heresy. Glad that Horus Heresy has its own like topics, categories. That's the word I'm looking for. I've got to say, it's a bit of a weak showing for the Heresy. It's a bit of a weak showing. I mean, it's a very nicely painted model, especially for just how little time he would have had, Duan Henlong would have had to paint this model. It's only been a couple of months after all. And yeah, you've got, you know, wonderful like detailing, like micro detailing down on the loincloth and the texturing of everything. I can't do it. You know, it's far better than anything I could ever do. I just think it's a little bland. And I'm going to say that about all of the entries for the Heresy. The blending on the non-metallic metals on the Death Guard is superb. This is very good. Very good. But it's that very stylized non-metallic metal style that I'm not a huge fan of. But it's definitely a model that looks, you know, it shows what it's supposed to be. It's incredibly clean. There's no mistakes, there's no issues, there's nothing there. Like, I mean, there wouldn't be any mistakes, would there? Unlike Bastion Salvador, who has blue Space Wolves for the Heresy, and that is just instantaneous disqualification right there. I'm actually working on that exact model right now, myself, although not obviously looking like that. I like the wolf. I don't know where the wolf's from. I don't recognise that. Is that from the new Space Wolves range? Or is that a sculpted one? That's interesting, yeah. But all in all, yeah, I mean, very, very nice models. Brilliant basing on all of them. But I've got to say, Heresy was a little bit lackluster. On to the old world. Angelo DiCello again. A really impressive piece. The lightning using the wire is quite a cool effect that a lot of people are doing nowadays. I like the freehand on the cloak. The colour choices are nice. There's lots of freehand everywhere. I think the face is probably the weakest part on that. And I really like the base. Urca Marito. It's funny how so many people come in and just dominate all the fields. I wouldn't mind seeing a rule that basically said if you were nominated for one, like if you won whatever it was, you couldn't win another one. You know, so it's just, oh, you've won, you know, silver in single miniature fantasy, you're now no longer eligible to win any of the others. You know, maybe you can enter only one category. I don't know, I just want to see more people involved, not just the same guys over and over again. Does that sound selfish? I don't think it does. I just think, you know, because eventually, you know, there's nothing going to stop someone going, the same three people basically eventually dominating every single category, is there? And that's just boring. And I want to see more and different artists painting in different styles and different ways. And I mean, this Orc Sorcerer is fantastic. I really like it. It's an old metal model that, you know, came out in the late 90s, early 2000s, if I remember correctly, with some more modern bits added to it, and it looks fantastic. I've always liked the blend between green and pink for orcs around like their sort of their lips and their like scars and stuff, knuckles, that sort of thing. Oh, Nils Anderson. Sorry, I've got a horrendous indigestion right now. Nils Anderson. In fact, I'm going to do something about it. Give me one of my Make Tummy Feel Good tablets. They're orange flavoured. Nils Anderson has done this very, very bright and colourful high elf, and I think this is something that's missing from Warhammer a little bit. Is a little bit of colour in places. Not too much, obviously. Not always, but just it's nice to have this sort of counteracting the more realistic and the more dreary stuff. Middle-earth always gets a solid showing because the fans of the Middle-earth battle game are always, you know, really kind of passionate. And the thing with the Middle-earth is that you always got to worry about getting it. Are you just going to copy the films? Are you going to try and be the films as much as possible, or are you going to try and paint it like a miniature? We kind of have both. It's good. I mean, I don't know what to say. It's a little hard to make out any of the details. This is the problem with copying the films, is everything is brown and realistic and kind of boring. These two, a little bit brighter. Lovely non-metallic work here. The thing to remember about Lord of the Rings models is they're even smaller than Warhammer models. They're about sort of 25mm in scale, and obviously being a dwarf is going to be even smaller. But yeah, I really like that. The Frost Troll. There's a lot of colours in here. There's an awful lot of colours in here. But it is pretty good. it has just occurred to me that that might be the horn of Helm Hammerhand. I can't believe I'd ever noticed that before. Blood Bowl, one of my favourite orc models of all time. I actually used this for my base for my orc war boss, or knob boss. So yeah, lovely model, good pitch, nice use of zombies. This is a decent like interpretation. I quite like that. It's always nice when you get like a moment, not just a based on the ground model. And then obviously the Chaos Dwarfs with lots of little details and bits everywhere, lots of texturing on the leather, that's really nice. And the classic red and gold. But yeah, definitely the Orc deserves that one. Necromunda, I am biased because I don't like these models, but the quality of the freehand here is superb. Absolutely superb, and the basing is really nice. Always love something that's like a base that's just a little bit more on theme, and that's fantastic. I like that. The texturing on this model by Nicholas Rubens Mortensen's really nice. The skin, you know, the fur and everything. Yeah, that's really nice. It looks so much better like this than the one you actually see on Games Workshop's page. Epic scale stuff. I don't know. I think I'm just getting a bit. I don't know what it is about epic scale stuff that just doesn't capture almost any interest from me whatsoever. Like, this bit down here kinda does, but this as a whole doesn't. Absolutely fantastic weathering, really nice detailing on stuff. I like the look of the Sons of Horus on the bottom. Again, I always like an out-of-the-box thinking model, and that's really, really cool. And I love the orange and black colour scheme. But yeah, I just think, I don't know, there's just maybe too much going on. Maybe I can't see it because it's too small. It's cool. I mean, Warhounds are always cool. The rumours we're getting a plastic one soon is even cooler. Dioramas. Dioramas are always great because they really let sculptors flex their muscles, and this one, the Light of Eltharion, is always one of my favourite models. The idea of an empty suit of armour with a spirit like possessing it, I think, is fantastic. And if like the Lumineth, like Lumineth had been just that as a faction, just the spirits of their, you know, of the elves inhabiting their old armour, that would have been such a cooler and more unique faction. But this is cool. I like this. It's very cartoony. It's very stylized, but the colours are fantastic, and that pink and purple in the brazier is brilliant. I've seen this one floating around a lot. I've seen this on Facebook several times. That is always a problem with Golden Demon. You don't really want to show your model off. You want something to be fresh that people haven't seen before. But it's cool, and I like it. The Sanguinius one's a little weak. Technically, you know, it's good. From a painting point of view, it's good. I just think from a posing point of view, it's not that great. I just think it could have been better. But it's more to do with the pose of the model compared to what's going on around it. The duel category is always fun. You can see some really silly, over-the-top power combinations in the duel category. It was like a good White Scar. Black Templars ending the giant puke puppy is always good as well. I like the contrast of the colours. I like how you have the very raucous pinks and greens of the Nurgle beast, and then the very muted colours of the Black Templar. That's nice, and the base is fantastic. I always love a good, like, I love fronds and, you know, all of the plants. I think that's great. Sebastian Schubert. There's a lot going on in this. It's a little difficult to make out what a lot of it is from this distance, but looking at the chipping and weathering up here, it's fantastic. Again, this is one that I need to see closer up. But anything with orcs is always good. Now this is the controversial one, right? This is the one people have been talking about. The Youngbloods this year has been off the chart. Now, back in the day, Youngbloods was clearly Youngbloods. You know, the quality there was not what it is today. These were clearly the works of, you know, 12 to whatever it is, 16-year-olds. You know, they were kids, and it gave you something to kind of aim towards and be like, wow, you know, these are kids like my age that are painting this well. I can do it too somehow. Now I'm looking at it as a 38-year-old going, I can't paint. I suck at painting. I'm never going to paint another model in my life. I would not be surprised if every single one of these stank. If every single one of these at some point in the future walks away with a Slayer sword. I mean, yeah, I love this red earth. This red earth is absolutely just peak. The blending on everything, the non-metallic metals on the armour. Yeah. This is the level of quality of the kids coming up behind. It's just scary, absolutely terrifying. And you know, there's never been a better time for it. You know, that we've got the best paints we've ever had. We've got access to the best tools, the best brushes now. You know, we've got thinners we never had, mediums. We've got all sorts of weird and wonderful tools, sponges, airbrushes, tutorials, you know, videos. We are inundated with stuff, and of course this means that the quality on average should go up. And it's good to see that there are, you know, painters out there who really are willing to push the envelope and go further and further and further. And yeah, I would not be surprised if all three of these, you know, were pushing silvers and golds next year if they're not entering the Youngbloods. If they enter the main competition, I would be surprised if they weren't at least getting bronze. The open competition, the only one that can be entered by staff, is a bit weak. Normally, the open competitions are really a place for the, you know, the absolute wild and crazy, and it's just it's a little reserved and boring in my opinion. I mean, yeah, I get it that there's a, you know, it's a choppy wave base and everything, but you see plenty of this in modelling. This base I like. This base is really nice, but the model itself is just a bit plain. I can't really comment on the painting. The painting is all fantastic on all of them. And yeah, I mean, you can see here just how much detail is on this model. Yeah, if we got a close-up shot like this of everything, you know, with a couple of different angles, it'd be much better. So yeah, congratulations to everyone who's done this. Phenomenal work. Again, you know, I'm just commenting on it from a point of view of myself personally. Pardon me. You know, you like what you like, you don't like what you don't like. So models, you know, being what they are. Yeah, the only one I really think I would change is probably swapping those two. Maybe getting rid of that without seeing it any closer. So yeah, that's it guys, that's Golden Demon. Please flame away in the comments, tell me how awful I am, how I can't paint and how I'm no better, and I don't deserve anything, because there is always someone that's like that whenever I make one of these videos. Congratulations to everyone who won a trophy, to everyone who won recognition pins, etc. Massive props to all of the Youngbloods. And yeah, Albert with his third Slayer sword, congratulations. It's phenomenal. Alright guys, remember, if you are taking part in the community painting challenge, it ends on the end of the 31st, so midnight 31st, and I will do a video early in the week, next week, to discuss the entries. If you're not taking part and you want to, you've got a couple of days to kit bash and paint a model that fits the description, the Diplomat, and that is a 30k model, please. Alright guys, have a great day. As always, my name is Bando, this is Brexit Bando, and if you want to buy paints because you're inspired by these and you want to go out and paint something yourself, you can go and get a wide selection of paints from Citadel, TT Combat, Vallejo, Army Painter, MiG, P3, all sorts at Element Games, and you can use my code JAM737 to get yourself some extra reward points when you do so. Have a great day. Bye bye.